This is a live video hub, and I am Stephen Healy. Welcome. Just wait for everybody to take their seats and get on with the show. I've taken a week off, so it's taking me a little while to actually get back into the stride. I was on the show with David Burrows yesterday, and we had an enjoyable hour, and hopefully we'll have the same today. If you want to join me on camera, just type guest, and you can join me live on camera. And as I said earlier, welcome to the show. I'll say hello to RJ and to Lynn and all is good. Right, I've just heard some news hot off the press, as it were. Something new is, I missed you too. You know I did. And we'll make up for it tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. And say hello to Gospel. Nice to see you. If anybody wants to join me on camera, just type guest and you get a message from my friendly messenger bot, the BLIFbot, and you'll get all you need to join me in the seat over there. Okay, and Gospel saying hello to Lynn. So hello to everybody watching. Talking about the live video hub today and some events coming up next week. Now, Live Video Hub is a surprise success, really. Things have gone far better than we could have imagined, and the number of shows going out every week is increasing, and the number of people watching is increasing. So that is all good news. So the question is, how do you actually get onto the Live Video Hub, which is up there? If you want to go on the Live Video Hub, just message me with a link to your business page on Facebook. Simple as that. I'll then send you back a confirmation link. If you click the link, then you can then cross-post to the Live Video Hub whenever you wish. And broadcasting on the hub is simple and straightforward. In fact, I made a little video about it, which I'll post in the comments now. And it's only about a couple of 2 minutes, 32 seconds long. If you watch that video, you'll know exactly how you can post your videos onto the Live Video Hub. And what happens is when you go live on your page, it goes live on the hub and you reach a new audience who will engage. And if you send them back to the original post, they'll engage live as well. And incredibly, we have got 830 shows that have been on the hub, and I'm getting closer and closer to 1,000. So now is the time to get involved. Now is the time to get on the hub and say hello to Cheryl. Nice to see you. And so everybody's arriving. Marco was here earlier as well, and nice to see you all. So to register for the hub, just send me a link, and then the instructions for putting your show on the hub are there. It's up to you. You're in total control of everything. We never broadcast. We'll never post on your page. We behave. So there's no complications from that side, and you can go live and anytime you like, 24/7. And so hello to Lynn. Lynn, thank you for joining us. Let's say if you want to be a guest on camera, then all you need to do is to type guest in the comments and you'll be sent a link on Messenger, and that will bring you directly into the show. Now, we have something that's actually coming up next week. I'm just going to share the screen with this. And this is a 5 days live video training. And basically it's totally free, and at 10 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday next week, we'll be taking you through the major areas of broadcasting and suggesting how you might be improving your broadcasts. We're always learning from people, and we're passing our knowledge on to you, and it's just to go through the people involved. Cheryl, who has her own shows on the Live Video Hub. Everybody you're going to see broadcasts on the Live Video Hub. So Cheryl, and then myself, I'm part of the team. And the next person is RJ, who's watching today and is in 3 of the shows next week. And then Linda West, who did a spectacular live event last night. And when we're talking live, we're talking about being live at university. And she was very well received. She's been invited back. And Linda is going to be talking about, well, camera confidence. Brigetti, we know from the Friday show that Brigetti and I have been doing together for over a year. And Mr. David Burrows, who was with me yesterday, or I was with him yesterday, but we joined Canada in the UK. And he'll be talking about camera confidence too, and promotion. And then Annie Mura. Now, Annie's just making an announcement as we're sat here. He's joined forces with Binge.tv. Now, if you've not heard of Binge.tv, it allows you to go out to Roku. And a question from Gospel, 10 a.m. on the East Coast is 3 p.m. in the UK. So every show is at 3 p.m. Monday through Friday next week. So Annie's quite busy at the moment, but he is joining us next Wednesday to talk about repurposing with RJ and I. And then Erin Strayer, who we've known for quite a while, and I've interviewed her, enjoyed chatting, and looking forward to Erin's contribution to the week. Now, these are people who know what they're talking about. So Monday's show is about camera confidence with Linda, David, and Brigetti, and you can learn all about how to be confident on camera, how to present yourself well, how to come across perfectly. And it does take some practice because you've got to keep looking at the camera and talking naturally and not rushing yourself. And talking and rushing, I'm being joined by somebody in a moment. Let's go through. Tuesday is show planning with myself and Erin, and we'll be talking about everything to do with planning a show from beginning to end, and that's planning the show before you go live, when you're live, and afterwards. So we will be giving you details of best practice and how to improve. Wednesday is the show of the week, which is repurposing with Annie, RJ, and me. And we're talking all about repurposing. As I say, Annie is breaking some news as I speak that he now has a way you can go on Roku.tv with your broadcast. I'll come back to that, no doubt. And then on Thursday, show promotion with RJ, David, and Brigetti. And okay, I'm just distracting myself here. Just let me concentrate for another minute, and then we're through. And Friday's show is with Cheryl and RJ and Brigetti, and that's all about planning and also camera confidence as well. And it's a catch up for the whole week, and hopefully everybody who's involved, and there's 8 of us involved, will actually be able to make it to that show. So there you have it. It's all next week, 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. in the UK, and you can learn something each and every day. Shows are free. If you can't catch us live, then please come and join the replay, and we look forward to seeing you there. Right, okay, now I've no idea what's going to happen next. As we say hello, well, I would say hello, but I don't know what he's doing at the moment, but I've just got a thumbs up. So I'm going to take that photograph full screen just for a second and bring up our mystery guest. Although, having said that, he's not really a mystery to most of us. Hello, Peter.
Hello.
We have sound, we have vision. You're good to go, sir. How are you?
Very good. Well, I'm just, well, I've still got a bit of a cold from last week, but business-wise, it's very, very, very busy. I've learned how to do this Facebook adverts, and I'm going to repurpose them.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And just catching up, Lynn is saying good points, talking and not rushing yourself. Yeah, there is a temptation to actually do a script and then just go through the script at lightning speed and think you've done a good job. Then when you watch the replay, it's very difficult to understand. So you've got to slow down, take your time, and keep calm.
Yes.
And Gospel is saying, I'm currently packaging my lives to repurpose it. Looking forward to getting some ideas. Okay, yeah, our next Wednesday's show is going to be very special with Annie and RJ and myself, and looking forward to that. In fact, looking forward to every single show. But we should be able to give you some ideas. And your friend, Gospel, Peter, is saying hello.
Hello. Yes.
There you are.
Gospel.
All right, and we've just been joined. Oh, hello, Joy. And Joy has joined us. Nice to see you live now. Tell me about Blabbing for Britain last Thursday.
Well, you weren't there. I bet you've looked at it, though.
No, I tell you, I was on holiday from the Friday before, and I haven't looked at anything at all. Purposely, I was online on my phone, not touched a desktop for 8 days. It was bliss, I tell you. I was swimming in the sea.
Well, it seemed to go okay. Somebody called Trish enjoyed it very much. Thought I was a bit of a comedian, and I only ranted once during it, and it was okay. Everybody was on board. Went quite smooth.
Good.
And yeah, it's.
Yeah. It did feel strange.
Did it?
Well, yeah. We've been broadcasting for 137 weeks. Yeah.
I even sang the American national anthem to them.
Well, the episode's still there, so your singing must have been fine. We didn't get pulled up for copyright.
Oh, well, there's no copyright there. Everybody sings the national anthem, apart from them that are anti-Trump now. And no, I sung the national anthem for them. I've always wanted to sing it, you know.
So you did.
And we discussed about the American national anthem and what it was all about. Some people didn't know what it was all about.
Right. So, and as you said, you have a vote from Tish who's saying you should do it more often.
There you go. And,
right.
But I do my own show. My own show's got a bit of a problem that we're so busy. It's meant to be the Mousy Men show, but it's became the Mousy Man show because Gordon can never turn up because we are extraordinarily busy, so much so that I've had to employ someone else as well.
Oh, that's good news.
Yeah,
well, it's good news. I mean, it's not good news for the show, but it's good news for the business.
And you know, it for even this, if we was to do something on here, right, and if somebody, so not just about being a show, if you was to take a question answer session on something that your business does, right, question answer, and then make it quite a tight one, no, not long, and then bang it onto Facebook adverts, whatever industries you're in, I think that would work too.
Well, yeah, Q&As do work, especially if you get questions whilst you're live, so the audience get involved too.
Yeah, and then put it out as a Facebook the day I met, or how to overcome and all these sorts of stuff, and then package it as an advert. And I've had my eyes opened to Facebook adverts this past couple of weeks. Tremendous. Really worked out.
Good. Who helped you?
Well, I got a phone call from, I done my own one and it was doing well. And then I got an email from Ireland, Facebook Ireland, asking if we could have a meeting online, and it helped me even further.
Oh, good.
And I thought it was quite funny because they introduced me with what is known as a lookalike advert. And I thought it was quite funny at the time, you know. And it's worked quite well. Worked very well. Yeah.
And we say good morning to Robert. Robert, nice to see you, and I hope you're up and about and recovering. And I appreciate you joining us to watch us today. And to everybody who's joined us recently, if you want to join us on camera, you can join Peter and I simply by typing guest in the comments, and you can come live on air and you talk about anything that you like, as I place advertisements every so often for the shows next week.
Quick question, where's your co-host today?
And my co-host, her son, has suddenly discovered that he's got a job interview, and he's got the job, and he's leaving the nest, and it's a big day, so
All right.
family first.
Okay, absolutely.
Yep. So
absolutely. So what was the discussion on here today then?
Discussion today is about the live video hub, Peter.
The live video hub. I'll have to learn how to use that one day.
Well, I've just posted a link to a video which actually shows you step by step how to use it. So after the show, if you go to the comments, you'll find a link which takes you through it step by step, because there's only, well, I could actually do it in 4 sentences. Load the video up, post up, press edit, go to settings, select cross posting, click, done.
Okay, I'm gonna have to sit and look at that. I've forgotten everything. It's just getting back. No, just recently I've got back into the swing of things about, downloading pictures into my own personal album. I even had a picture of President Trump on your show this week, since you were gone.
Well, you took in liberties now, because
And
we'd have to.
You've
got to have balance in the show.
You haven't seen it yet, have you? Honestly.
No.
I'll let you know. Do you know the call to action?
Yeah.
So all the way through the show, do you know what it said?
No.
No cricket.
Okay.
Rolling all the way through the show. No cricket. No cricket.
Guess what we're going to be talking about on Thursday, Peter?
Well, there you go.
Quite possibly.
Imran Khan, cricketer to politician.
All right. Okay. So, just to put you on the spot for a moment, what do you think it takes to be the host of a show?
You've got to be creative. You've got to be able to think on your feet. You've got to have a good imagination. And if you really are interviewing, you've got to look at do some homework on your guest, and then draw some questions out of them. I mean, recently when I went on, I'd basically about 1 or 2 viewers, and even though you feel stupid that you're talking to yourself, you've got to add in, I know some of you will be watching this later, so you've got to be on the ball, and you've just got to treat it as someone is there. And I'll give you an example with my singing. I once was in a bar singing, and there was nobody in it. So I said, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sing anyway. And lo and behold, once I started singing, the door opened and people come in. And you'll do that being a show host. So to be a show host, you've got to start off small, and then it'll gradually grow. And there'll be times you'll think, why am I doing this? But one day it will pick up, and it's down to your. So it's not just being the host of the show, it's also being the marketeer of the show. You've got to look at all the angles to get it out there to let them know it's on. I mean, as you know, people still call me the Talkinator now, but I haven't done that show for over a year. So,
indeed, you haven't.
And that's something I need to get back into. What I lack is time. So, and as a show host, what you should maybe also do is look at what you're going to talk about 3-4 weeks in advance, so you've got something to fall back onto. So it's not easy, and you've got to get comfortable with the controls. So sometimes I'll go on during the day just myself and do a trial, and then when you finish, you delete it off of Facebook, and so that's what I've done in the past. But you've got to be confident. You've got to be confident, and yes. So practice before you go on the show. Look in the mirror. Look at how you look yourself. Is that enough? Any questions?
Oh, if anybody has any questions for Peter or I, then please ask them. We're more than willing to answer and give our ideas. I think that the approach has to be different for each type of show. If you're on show on your own, then you're your own boss, and Gospel is saying good tips. So there you go, sir. And thank you, Gospel. If you're doing a show on your own, you're your own boss, and you decide what happens on the show, and you're in total control, and you write your agenda out in full. I've got the agenda beside me, and I can just slip through it. I can bring an item up on the screen. I can talk about it. But every show has to have content. You've got to have either a theme for a show, or a topic. Especially if you're on your own, because what you can't do is just come live on camera and just waffle. Because if you come live on camera and just waffle, the odds are that what's going to happen is one of two things. We mentioned earlier that you run through the list too quickly, and people won't understand what you're saying. And the second thing is that you will lose your thread, and you'll stop speaking, and it will go quiet for a minute. And when it goes quiet for a minute, I'm trying to be quiet for a minute, but it's difficult with Peter being here. When you go quiet for a minute, people wonder what's happened. So, as Peter said, you need to practice, especially if it's a solo show. If you've got a co-host on the show, then you're halving the load, because if the show's 30 minutes long and there's one of you, you've got to speak for 30 minutes. If the show is 30 minutes long and there's two of you, then odds are you've got to speak for 15 minutes each, or 20 minutes and 10 minutes. So you're reducing the load, but you've got a responsibility to your co-hosts to actually feature them and to give them their head on what they're going to say and talk about.
Just to give you an idea of what I've done for last week, I've actually got it in front of me here. So what you do in Blabbing for Britain, it's a general chat about life and things going on. So here's the things I'd put onto the comments, and I'd actually preloaded them. Is there life on Mars? Because that was a topic. And then over here, the heat wave, and it was a UK record, how it affected you personally. Well, it's done brilliant for me personally, because I got a lot because of it. Then we had the EU trade war from Trump. And then we had David Cameron. Many people want him back, believe it or not. And then we spoke about Aston Villa because they were in the news. And I had another one that's up my sleeve, which is still being spoken about today, was anti-Semitism. Big problems in Britain with that just now. But that's a bit of a hot topic, so I kept that. But I was going to bring it in just at the end. So, and what I would also say to people as well is, you've got to really pick your topics and watch what you're saying. Because I know a guy that was once on and he got hauled off, and what he was saying. And basically, you've got to watch what you say and think before you act at times, especially if you're the host.
Totally. And Lynn is saying she likes having a theme or a topic for the show. And great tip, Stephen. You're welcome, Lynn. Thank you. And also, Gospel has a theme for each show. And I think that's got to be the case, that you have a theme. And coming back to Lynn, I've had my intro and a topic, and allow the live to take its own course. This works best when I have a guest there. Well, the thing is, when there are two of you on screen, when it's either two co-hosts, a host and a guest, then you can bounce off each other, can't you? You can take a lead and you can follow it and you can discuss it. I mean, in the show yesterday with David, when we do the show on Mondays, which is about building your community, we literally don't have any script, and David has no agenda. So we start with the blank paper and we just fill it out from there. We start off by talking about the weekend, and then we go forwards into things that have come up and interest us, but it's all off the cuff. And so, but that said, David and I have been broadcasting together for 9 months. So we got to know each other. We know each other's interests. We know each other's points of view, and each other's passions. So we can talk to each other, and we can get a conversation going just between the two of us, so we can carry the whole 60 minutes if nobody comes on camera. Coming back to which, if you want to join us on camera, please type guest to come on camera. Peter doesn't bite, neither do I. You're more than welcome to come on and ask your questions. And we'll be joining the UK with your country. We say the UK, you're actually up in Aberdeen, aren't you, Peter?
Yes, I'm in Aberdeen, part of the United Kingdom, part of the Great British Isles. Here's one of the things I find hard with hosting a show. You tell everybody you're coming on at 3:30 in the afternoon, and you start at 3:30 and there's no one there. Now, obviously, you're recorded right away. And I've seen people looking at it after and have said, well, say something then. And I keep saying, I'll wait until more people come. I'll wait until more people come. But that's a problem, getting people to be there for 3:30. I don't know what Facebook does. I think they tell them after you're on, after 10 minutes or something like that. Is that a problem?
There is a situation where Facebook don't notify everybody in advance.
Yes.
Or even when you go live. There's several minutes after you go live where Facebook's thinking about it, and then it sends out and you show up live in people's timelines. Yes. Which is why, and I'll come back to some comments about it and to that, I'm just going to type this in, I use messenger bots.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the reason I use messenger bots before a show is because I can send out a broadcast to everybody who's signed up, a bit like an email list, really, same sort of thing, but I'm doing it on Facebook Messenger. And I then send out an invitation to join as a guest on the show, to watch the show live, catch the replay, yes, or sign up for next week's 5 days live. So messenger bots before help, because with Facebook, as you said, that you've got this problem that Facebook don't let everybody know straight away. And RJ is happy because I've mentioned bots.
And then guess what? That's why I'm on here today. I used your bot.
Good. There you are. You see, system works because you knew 10 minutes beforehand and you thought I'll be around in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So RJ is happy because we mentioned bots. And just going back on the comments for a moment and to Gospel, good tips on the breakdown of the show with a guest. I have 30 minutes, 15 minutes each. And Gospel's saying that the show runs over. And I think that's a good thing. I think it's preferable to actually run over than it is to finish early. Because if you're running over, it means you're getting a good response from your guests, you're getting a good response from your audience. And as everybody feeds into or gets into the theme and the idea of your show and buys in, then if you said, right, I've got to go now, then they wouldn't come to your next show. But if you run on for 10, 12 minutes, then people appreciate that, because we often forget. Now, this is why I'm always saying during the show, thank you for watching, because you're giving of your time watching us today, and we appreciate that. We want to give you good ideas and good tips and an interesting show, because you are taking the time. So, right, okay, stop rambling and come back on point. Gospel, if you're going to increase your show to 60 minutes, that's a good length. What we find is that you get peaks and troughs during the show, and you get a peak at the beginning of the show, then it goes down, and then it starts to come up again. So it's like a V shape. And in most shows, you've got the big audience small audience when you start, build up, and then it gradually goes down and it picks up again. And an hour-long show, you'll find that a lot of people join you in the last quarter of an hour. So we know that from experience after 137 episodes of Blabbing for Britain. And Lynn, the more I do lives, the more creative I become. Topics are coming to me now. I'm able to develop points of discussion. Well, that's it, Peter. The more shows you do, the easier it gets.
Yeah. Well, I found out with the talking at the moment I'm having problems with my pest control business that I don't know if the timing's right for it, etc. I find that I actually get more people coming into the shows that I've done in an evening. I catch more people at home. So, but because it's a business daytime job, Gordon, I'm not paying Gordon overtime, that's the reason, but we're a daytime workers and it's part of our multi-men show. So I'll just have to kind of repurpose it. And here's another thing. What would make somebody watch a show for half an hour after the event?
That's a leading question. I've got to say, if you want people to watch, you've got to have a topic which is of interest, and you've got to go back to the show post afterwards and say, in this show we talked about, so that when people actually look at the post, they actually see what happened during the show. That's the first thing you can do. The second thing is, what you can do, this is a great tip. I'm going to do this now. I'm going to I'm typing in right, okay, shouldn't do that, but I am. We got a great tip yesterday. First of all, edit the show. That's number one, so that people know what the show was about. Second thing is, you can put timestamps, and a timestamp says, I've just put a timestamp in which says Peter asked about replays. Yep. Now, anybody going through the comments who clicks on that link will be brought to 31 minutes into the show.
All right.
When you asked. Yep. So this is a tip from David Burrows. When you are live, if you're covering a topic which you want people to find, from within the BLive studio, you can type in that the topic started now. Yeah. And when
within
people
the
watch
BLive studio.
Yeah, within the BLive studio, just post into Facebook. I posted that comment to Facebook at 5:31, and anybody who sees that comment will know when I said it and can skip to it.
Okay.
The other thing about replays is, once you've finished the show, is to share it. Now, this comes down to networking. Where do you share it to? If you share it to places you normally go, then it's going to be seen by people who normally see it. Ideally, what you should do is get together a network of people who are actually willing to share the show. And the quid pro quo is, I will share your show if you share mine.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm quite happy to share and I do share shows onto my personal profile, onto the BLive in 5 page, onto Live Video Hub. And it works. It works. So it's building up a network, really, and getting that network to work with you. And coming back to the comments again, comment from Lynn. Lynn's going to start using editing with timestamps, and thanks to Mr. David Burrows in Sarnia in Ontario, Canada, for the tip yesterday.
So a question on that. So do you go and have to look back at your video yourself to get the exact time? There
are 2 ways you can do it. I can do it now, and I can say, right, let's give an example. Right, messenger bots. Okay, I can say that I'm going to type in Stephen talks about bots. Okay, and I type that in. It's gone to Facebook, and that comment is now on Facebook, and I can bring it on here, and that comment has got a time on it, and it says
got a time on it. All right. Okay.
Yeah, it says that I talked about it at 5:33 or 12:33, depending on where you are.
So that goes onto Facebook and it'll tell you the time automatically. Yep. Okay, that's good.
You can click it, and just to come back to the comments again. Lynn is saying, should timestamps be done with the video, or can I download the video to edit? If you can do timestamps during the show, as I've just done. You can do timestamps when you replay the show. April Roger replays most of her shows, and she puts comments in at timestamps so that people can actually hop into the show and watch a particular topic. I mean, April does. We've talked about shows being 60 minutes. April does shows which are 2 and 3 hours long. Now, as Peter said earlier, who's going to sit down for 30 minutes to watch a show? Who's going to sit down and watch a 3-hour show? So timestamps are essential if you're doing a longer show. And Gospel is saying, right, okay. That is where I struggle at. sharing shows, who to share to. Right. Okay. Now, there are three things you can do. What would you do, Peter?
Well, you could go on your own personal timeline because that's where most of the people are, the most people you know, and you could say, hey, listen, this is my latest show that I've just done. Please have a look. And if you could oblige me by sharing and commenting it, that would be fantastic. And those who do, there might be a special prize. You could win a fly killer. Like I do. I give away prizes. Yep. So you could do that. So that's just one way in your personal timeline.
Yeah, I'm smiling at the idea, Peter. It's a good idea to actually have a giveaway to encourage people to share. And you could time the messenger bot. So there are ways of doing that. The second thing is, is to build up your network. Now, I've been on Facebook for 11 years. And I do spend a lot of time on Facebook, it has to be said, because it's part of what I do. And over those 11 years, I've made several different networks. And they're all started off being UK-based, and now they tend to be global. Facebook is a great way to make connections. If you want to know people who are interested in live video, there is one place you can go, and that's to go in the BLIFbot group and look at the members list. And if you've got less than 5,000 contacts, I would say that 99% of the people in the BLIFbot group, because we vet every member, 99% of the people in BLIFbot group are good to know. And so they've been pre-qualified. They like live video, otherwise they won't be in the BLIFbot group. And I would build a network by connecting with 10, 20, 50, 100 people in the BLIFbot group and getting to know them. Watch their shows, invite them to come and watch your shows, so that you're actually building a relationship with people who are interested in live video. And all the BLIFbot group are 7,200 people in the group, and majority of them are actually doing shows. The other interesting thing, I've dropped this while we're doing it. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Peter, but of the members of the BLIFbot group, what percentage do you think are men?
Probably about 20%.
Oh, right, okay. That didn't work. I shouldn't have asked the question. I'm just going to say, right, 40% of the members of the BLIFbot group are men, which means 60% of the BLIFbot group are women. So, in other words, there are 4,332 women who you could connect with, and 2,400 men. And I say they're all virtually pre-vetted. So build a network from the people in the BLIFbot group because they're interested in live video and they may share common interests with you. And that's another way to do it. You've got to build a network, and that takes time.
Can I give another tip to any people that are interviewing everybody? Now, I don't know if you remember the dog groomer that came on, right?
Yeah.
I had a dog groomer come on and tell me about a business. And she knew so many people on Facebook locally here, where I am, and it's the biggest show I'd ever done. And it was mainly all her friends and relatives that came on, and she went out before it and said, I'm getting interviewed on such and such a time, here's the link. And it was the most views I ever got for the dog groomer, which was fantastic. And she really enjoyed it as well, and some new people seen her. And then commented after. So so if you've got a guest coming on, let's just say to them, hey, listen, you might get a lot of exposure here. So what I want you to do is tell as many people and friends and their friends to come along and have and see you getting interviewed. And that's a very good way of people getting on.
Truly, I mean, that's it. I mean, a guest should not be passive. They shouldn't turn up 10 minutes before, do the show and run off. They should. It doesn't happen, Peter. We know it happens. You should make contact with your guest before the show, and you should ensure that they're involved from the get-go. They know the show link. They can share it before the show. They can share it during the show. amongst their network. And the other thing about that is never be afraid to ask somebody who's well known to be a guest on your show.
Yeah.
The worst that can happen is if you ask somebody to be a guest is that they say no. And you just move on from that. They're not rejecting you, they're just too busy. Yeah. If I ask Maury Smith to be a guest on my show, well, I know what happens. Her staff say, well, Maury's too busy. So, but if you don't ask, you don't get. And April had a guest on her show last night, which the viewing figures went through the roof. And if you can get somebody who's well connected on your show as a guest and get them to share it, which is what happened to April last night, then the interaction, the viewing figures will go up.
Yes.
And her guest on the show, she got to know over 5 or 6 months, before she actually said, right, okay, now is the time that I'm going to interview this lady. So they'd gotten to know each other. They knew where they were coming from. They knew what they were going to talk about. They felt comfortable because they've been in guest pots before, but this is the first time April actually interviewed her. And it was a good show and it got a good reception. So if you want to interview somebody, make a list and ask. And again, go back to BLIFbot's group, look at the BLIFbot's group, and if you want to interview somebody in there, just go for it. Just send them a message on Messenger. The worst you're going to get is they don't see the message or they say no. But this is like being a cold call salesman, isn't it, Peter? Where you ringing up and you've got 9 rejections, but the 10th one is an acceptance.
Well, here's the thing. I've got a friend here in Aberdeen who really uses LinkedIn videos a lot. So he's using videos. It's saying that's a format. But he had I was going to wait to use a word, but he had the brass neck to get in touch with Tesla. You know the Tesla cars?
Yeah.
He's a computer geek sort of thing, virus softwares and things. He actually got them to come up with vehicles to Aberdeen, and he filmed it. He got people driving them, and this says you can't film one of our cars. So he got a guy that had the car who'd bought it. He said, well, I'll film his one instead. But Tesla came up and showed people the cars, let them drive out. And people said, how did you manage that? He says, because I asked them.
That's
Simple.
The key. Simple. Right, just back to comments for a moment. And thank you, Gospel and Lynn. So you can do this when you're live or hire someone to do it for you. You could get your audience to actually help out, and Peter suggested a way that you could actually just put up a little offer for people actually helping out.
Could I just say one more thing before?
Yes, of course you can say. Well, if you like, Peter, go.
When I first started, I wasn't sure how to use the software. So what I done was I asked someone to be my studio director, and that was the man that's on the screen now. And he came on and he done everything for me. And I was left to do the interview. So if you've got somebody that's good and has got the software and they can use it, you can relax and you can just say, okay, if you'd like to show the picture of Donald Trump, the American flag now, please, that would be fantastic. And you can go on with your guest, or you could have it pre-timed. They say, when I mention X, they know to put that picture up, and it really takes it off of you. And that would be a good way. And you may be able to do that for other people as well and say, listen, I'll host your show for you. And then you can host mine.
That's an excellent idea. Producing a show, if you know the software, is relatively straightforward. You do need to know the host because you need to know how they work and be able to read the signals which are being sent so nobody panics. But it does release you as the host of the show, as Peter said, to actually get on with the content rather than watching everything and what have you. And a comment from Gospel. Right, and the Gospel saying she does know a few people in the BLIFbot group. Some of my contacts, in actual fact, are friends. Friends, yeah. I mean, contacts do become friends. Yes. Because that's brilliant. I mean, Peter and I have been talking for 2.25 years. We've never met, or 2.5 years nearly, We've never actually met, but we know each other very well.
Too well.
Yeah.
Too well. I'm not shaking his hand because he comes where that poisoning incident happened.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, it was a friend's birthday yesterday, and she lives down in Hampshire. Hampshire, Dorset, Wiltshire. That's the line up the country. Yeah.
Yes.
And she said, "I don't live far from you." I said, "Oh, she's moving, so you don't live far from us." I said, "Well, should we get together? Should we have a coffee?" Guess where I suggested to have a coffee, which is halfway between where she lives and where we are. Exactly so. You see, Peter picked up the signal. Salisbury. So we're actually going to meet in August in Salisbury. I think it's one of those things you've just got to say, well, there's a 0.001% chance of something going wrong.
Carry on regardless, because we're
carry on
British.
regardless. Yeah,
We're British.
indeed.
Yeah.
Stiff upper lip and all that.
I would be interested to see comments if people tell me what type of shows they do.
All right, okay.
And I would look at your show from an outsider's view and say, right, this is maybe what I would do in this show.
All right, okay. If you could drop in the comments the theme of your shows, then Peter has offered to give an overview. Oh, it should be good. Right, okay. I'm going to bring this picture up again. Don't forget that next week, from Monday to Friday, at 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. in the UK, you've got 5 days of free online training with myself, Brigitte Limbanda, Annie Mura, Erin Strayer, Linda West, Debbie Burrows, Cheryl Piper, and of course, RJ Redden. So that's free training, and you can sign up for the training. Just let me come back again. And if you want to register for the training, you just need to go to here. I'm just going to post it in the comments. So to pre-book for next week's shows and get reminders, then just click that link and we'll send you a reminder for the shows. What we won't do is ever spam you. But if you go there, you get a full explanation of what the week's shows are about, and then you can join us.
Is RJ still I've had somebody on my bot wanting some. You carry on while I seem to. I'm using my bot to reply.
Okay. Peter's working out a reply to somebody who's actually had the effrontery to actually message him on Messenger. So it could be business, it could not. We don't know, because Peter runs part of his business on Messenger using Messenger bots. And okay. Now, thank you, Lynn. When Peter comes back, I'll ask him to take a look at that. And thank you, Gospel. So that's that. Now, right, you need to know who we're referring to, don't they, John? No, that's that. I'm going to take that off the screen. That's not going to Room 101 because that is not totally true. We're all slightly mad. Okay, Lynn, thank you for joining us. Take care and hope to see you again soon. Bye for now. And it's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from Peter in Aberdeen too, although he's busy at the moment. You see, this is the thing that you can do. If you're on a show as a guest, you can just sort of say, well, you're the host. This is your show. You just carry on for a few minutes while I sort out my world. And because we're good friends, that's not a problem at all. Just coming back while Peter's doing that, my final promotion of the day is that we've done a short video about 5 days live, which you're more than welcome to watch. And it contains everybody I've illustrated during the course of this show, and just click on the video and watch it. It only lasts for 60 seconds, but it's a gem, and I love the music. Has to be said. When I'm putting together a promo video, and I actually use, when I'm doing a promo video, I use an application called Lumen 5, which is a very strange name. And Lumen 5 allows you to create videos with music and pictures. And I just write a script, 20 lines of text. I put that text into Lumen 5. Lumen 5 picks out 20 pictures, one for each line of text. I can change the pictures, and then I can add my own pictures. I can change the wording. I can change the colors. I can pick music which is royalty free. I can add that to the video, and then I just press the button, and 15 minutes later I get a video of the quality that they've just posted. So I can't recommend Lumen 5 too highly. It is so darn good. Back to Peter, and we have John's here. Are you back now?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm just finishing. It's okay. I can still do it.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Okay. And for everybody who's watching today, we have a bonus. Oh, it's wrong. Sorry. Sorry, Peter. For everybody who's watching today, John, are you still in the audience? If you are, could you post the Camtasia link? That would be good. Right. If you're doing live video, you're doing recorded video, and at the end of the show, you want to be able to edit it. Now, there are various ways to. All right. Okay. Just back to Lumen 5 for a moment. Gospel's using it, and now they have it ID'd. Oh, brilliant! I'm going to check that out. Thank you. Gospel is saying that it's also Instagram TV, and I'm going to check that as well. Stories format.
About half of that stuff. Wow.
Sorry, Peter.
I'm saying, no, there's a lot of the stuff, two of that things I didn't even know about, you know. I'm way behind times. That's why I've got grey hair, look. Right, so what was the...
You've got grey hair.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So,
Mr. Upson is with us, and whilst John is going to link, if you're doing live video, you're doing recorded video. Live video, we can get away with bloopers, mistakes, and we generally do, and we misspeak and we say the wrong thing. But in a recorded video, you want to edit that out. Now, up until now, I've been using a program called Screencast-O-Matic to do that. But the Rolls Royce of editing software is a program called Camtasia. I'm going to type that in. I think anybody who's doing video seriously will be using Camtasia. Now, Camtasia is $250 if you want to buy it new. But there is a special offer at the moment, which John tipped me off to, and you can get Camtasia 9 and the Snagit screen capture versions that work, licensed from Camtasia themselves, from TechSmith, and you can get both of those packages, which have a street value of $319 for the price of $20. So this is the bargain of the week. I'm not an affiliate. I'm just an evangelist. This is the bargain of the week. You can get Camtasia and Snagit and some of the software which is useful for $20. It's the bargain of the week. I downloaded Camtasia yesterday. I put in the serial code from TechSmith. I downloaded Snagit. I used them both, and they just work. So
fantastic.
Hopefully, if John can put the link in, you can actually follow that link. And if not, I should put in after the show. Right. Okay. And we welcome. All right. Okay. Right. The link that John has just posted. Okay. This is the link to buy Camtasia for $20. As far as I know, it's only good for the next 24 hours. But if you do want to edit your own software, create your own videos, in other words, other than live, then Camtasia is the way to go. And Gospel is agreeing they are good. I already have them and love them both. There you are. So this is one that's been doing the rounds. It finally arrived in Wiltshire this week. and that's why I'm sort of eulogizing it, or talking about it today. So press that link and you can have both for $20, and it's the best $20 you'll ever spend in July.
Very good.
All right, okay. So we've covered everything, I think.
Somebody put up a question for me.
Oh, yes, they did. Okay, now it was just a moment somewhere.
Or yourself.
No, it's for you, and there you are, and it's from Lynn, and she will watch. We'll tell her it's on the replay. So I'm going to type in Lynn's question, and I'll show you what I mean.
Okay.
You can start. Lynn's question answered.
First of all, the first thing it looks to me is people are looking for jobs. Yeah. Younger people who are looking at their careers, or people want to change their career. And first thing that comes into my head is, do you know what it is, folks? Do you know what it is, Stephen?
No. I wouldn't. Sorry?
LinkedIn.
Okay, yep.
And what you've got to do, and you've got to question them. Thinking of changing your career, question 1. Are you getting paid enough in your career, question 2. Question 3, time for a change, something like that. 3 questions, the power of 3s, and then get people come here at such and such a time. It may change your life, and give them that incentive to go to your show. LinkedIn would be brilliant for that.
Sound advice, Peter. Okay, well, I don't know how this has happened, Peter, but we've been chatting away for an hour. Almost again. And we weren't even blubbing for Britain. And just to come back to John, John is saying that the $20 package incredibly includes Reflector 3, which allows you to cast your phone to your PC or Mac or TV. I downloaded Reflector 3 today. I got my Android phone on my desktop. It works. Now to get it onto the Samsung TV, but it's working on my desktop, which means that you could actually do all sorts of things. I think Peter's got a message.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And just to pick up on Gospel's comment, is this a subscription with Humble that it costs $20? It's not a subscription. It's John will answer too, but it's not a subscription. It's a one-off fee of $20, which gets you a bundle of about 7 or 8 different products, including Camtasia and Snagit. It gives you normal licenses on those products. And if you get the Camtasia one, which is including the $20, you can download it, register it on their site, no problem at all, I've done that. And then if you want the latest version, Camtasia 2018, you can pay $99.50 instead of $249. So you're still, at the end of the day, paying half what you would if you went to the Camtasia site and just bought it as a new user. So that works as well. So hopefully that's that question. Right. Okay. Now, normally at this point of the show in Blimey for Britain, we ask for a thought for the weekend, but we haven't got that close to the weekend yet. So Peter, your thought for the day to leave everyone with. And please do not sing the American national
anthem around like that. Do you know something? Be humble. Don't worry about somebody asked me today, they said, do you know there's more pest controllers starting up in the area? I says, I get up in the morning and I do not worry about them. Just worry about what you do.
Wise words. You can only actually worrying about things that you can't do anything about. Well, it's not good for anybody. And there are situations where we just got to get on with it. Just do it. That going to Salisbury, you just got to get on with it and do it. And it's no use procrastinating. Right, Peter, where can we find you?
You can find me on Thursdays at 3:30 British time, and that's the Mousy Men Show. and you can find me on a Thursday morning on Blabbing for Britain, where I have my say, and keeping the other 3 right about the world and everything that's happening in it. And then one day you'll see me back as the talkinator.
Hope so. Right, you can find me on the live.
0.52 miles, 0.83 kilometers.
Are you lost?
We've got to go with this. Alexa, what time is it? Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 6 p.m.
It's 6 p.m. We've got to go. You'll find me on the live video hub. Take care, everybody. Thank you for watching, and see you all again soon. So bye from me, bye from Peter.
Bye-bye.